Would you sacrifice your integrity just to keep your dream career alive? Landing a job at Meridian Publishing felt impossible. More than 270 applicants wanted the same position, and somehow I got it. For 6 months, life was exactly what I dreamed of. I edited manuscripts, worked with talented authors, and finally felt like I'd built a future. Then Marcus became our new department head. Everyone called him a visionary. I called him Trouble. Every morning started with mandatory 7 o'clock inspiration meetings, where he'd pace around the conference room repeating motivational quotes he'd probably copied from social media. At first, I ignored it. Then he fired Janet, our 62-year-old office manager, claiming she didn't fit the company's future-focused culture. That was my first real one. Still, I kept my head down and focused on my work. Everything changed when the Edwards manuscript landed on my desk. Professor Edwards had spent decades studying archaeological sites across South America. His memoir was thoughtful, carefully researched, and already receiving praise from respected scholars before publication. On Friday afternoon, Marcus called me into his office. "We need to make this book exciting," he said. "People don't buy facts anymore. They buy mystery." He slid a folder across the desk. "I've already written a few extra chapters. Blend them into the manuscript." Curious, I opened the folder. Within seconds, my stomach tightened. The pages were filled with completely fabricated stories. Ancient alien technology, hidden civilizations, made-up ritual sacrifices, even offensive stereotypes about indigenous community. None of it was true. "This isn't editing," I said. "It's fiction." Marcus smiled. "It's marketing. When this becomes a bestseller, Professor Edwards will thank us." "It'll destroy his credibility," I replied. Marcus leaned forward. "His reputation isn't our problem. Our profits are." I stared at the pages. Professor Edwards had trusted us with the work of his entire career. "I can't do this." Marcus's expression instantly changed. "Can't or won't?" "I won't." I pushed the folder back. "This violates every publishing standard we have." His voice turned cold. "I'm not giving you a choice. Deliver the revised manuscript by Monday, or don't come back." For a moment, I thought about my rent, my student loan, how difficult it had been to get this job. Then I thought about Professor Edwards. He'd spent decades earning the trust of indigenous communities and documenting their history honest. I wasn't going to destroy that for a marketing campaign. I quit. I left the folder on his desk and walked out. As I packed my things, nobody said a word. Only Diane, one of the senior editors, quietly approached me. "You're making a mistake," she whispered. "Sometimes we all have to do things we don't like." I looked at her exhausted face, dark circle, tired eyes, years of silent compromise. "That's exactly the problem." 3 weeks later, I was working in a neighborhood coffee shop while searching for another publishing position. Then my phone rang. It was Professor Edward. "They sent me the edited manuscript," he said quietly. "They filled it with stories about aliens, human sacrifices, and things I never wrote. I'm pulling the book, but I need to know who did this." I took a deep breath. Then I told him everything. Who ordered the changes, why I refused, and why I walked away. 6 months later, Professor Edwards published his memoir through a respected academic press instead. The book stayed exactly as he'd written it. When I opened my complimentary copy, I turned to the acknowledgments. There was my name. He thanked me for protecting the truth when it would have been easier to protect my career. Today, I work at a literary agency that values honesty over sales tactics. That acknowledgement page hangs framed above my desk. Whenever I read it, I'm reminded that dream jobs can always be replaced. But once you sell your integrity, you rarely get it back.